Hello, good morning. It's Tracy Daviero with your VA Mentor. Oh, I have my new light here. And when I look at my camera, it's like blinding me. It's shining right in my eyes. So, hi, how are you guys? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to our Facebook Live. And yeah, I wanted to talk to you today a little bit more about setting rates. I know that we've talked a little bit about it in a couple of other videos. I was going over my list of videos in the last week or so, just looking for content, little gaps in content for to get some ideas about what to talk to you guys about on these lives. I would love your opinions too, and love for you to share with me what it is that you want me to talk about, so that I'm making sure that what I bring you is relevant and on topic for what you are doing in your business right now. So I want to talk about setting rates and a couple things that you need to consider when you're doing it. A lot of well, I have to say, whenever I first set my rates, I just kind of picked a number out of the air because I thought this was what I was making my job. I have to allow for overhead and that kind of thing. So I added like a couple bucks an hour, and that was how I came up with my my hourly rate at the time. But I've since learned, obviously, that this is really not the way to do it. Shocker of all shockers, right? So there's nothing that I think most of you can do that I haven't already done in my business over 20 odd years of doing working from home. So what I want to talk to you about is just what to think about in terms of setting your rates, the things you need to consider for sure. If you start with what it is that you need to bring into your household, what it is that you need to contribute to your household, it's a lot easier to go that way, like start with the big picture and say, how much do I need to make? And then do the math down from there. How much how many hours can I work? That kind of thing. You can figure it out sort of that way, rather than just sort of picking a dollar value and saying, I want to make this much money, or I need to make this much money. If you have a benchmark and you know that you're trying to replace your corporate salary, and that is, whatever per hour that you're making at your corporate salary, you can start there and know that that's going to get you where you want to be, right? One of the things that you have to remember is that you're going to have more expenses than a couple of dollars an hour, which is sort of what happened with me. I didn't allow for all the expenses that take place in a business. Of course, we do get some write-offs. Hi, Sherry. We do, we are able to write off some of our expenses in our business and that kind of thing. But, there's a lot of other things that we have to pay for that aren't, that maybe you don't think about in terms of doing your work. And so what your expenses are will be specific to your particular business, whatever things that you need to use. Do you need to use an email system? Do you need to use a bookkeeping program? Do you need, really solid high-speed internet and design stuff? Design software or anything like that? What is it that you need to use in your business that you have to pay for? But also there's the other things that, you have to pay. You have to pay usually for your phone, sometimes for online storage, that kind of thing, obviously taxes, that type of stuff, ink for your computer, whatever, office supplies. There's a lot of things that you can potentially have to use for your business. So you want to make sure that you're not just earning the bare minimum of what it is that you need to earn, because you want to allow for those expenses as well. So think about that as well. You want to make sure you're doing that. So think about this really quick. What it is that you need to earn. That's number one, right? What is it that is important benchmark of money that you need to be bringing in, or a goal of money that you need to be bringing in every month. So start there. Second is, if you do have a general idea of what you were making in a corporate salary that you need to replace, then you can also take that into consideration. Another thing that you can do is go and do some competitive analysis. Honestly, there's a lot to be said for this. Asking in a VA group, what are you charging for this, generally gets you sort of shut down, right? People don't like talking about rates in Facebook groups. It kind of goes against one of Facebook's terms, in that it can be considered price fixing if people talk about rates. If you ever wonder why, in VA groups they don't let you do that, or entrepreneur groups in general, I think, don't really like to talk about pricing online. And so, it's not like somebody's going to come after us or anything like that. But I think it's just a good rule as well to not really talk about that stuff in detail, because it's like I say, everybody needs to earn a different amount of money. Everybody has different levels of expertise. Everybody has different, experience, different skills, whatever it is. So I think it's important to be able to ask the questions, but really to be able to go and do the market research. Who is publishing these things? Or if you see somebody who's providing similar services that you are, you can actually reach out to them and have a discussion, as opposed to, you know, just posting something online and having everybody tell you how much money they're making, and then either, you know, you having a piercing feeling through your heart because you're not making that amount of money, or just simply that then you just have too much information. You don't really know anybody's skill level. If you're looking at another VA's website and you see, okay, you know, these are their clients, maybe they have some great testimonials from super clients, maybe they have their services laid out exactly the way you want to lay yours out. Those are the people that you want to just do a direct reach out to, right? Or sometimes people publish their rates on their website as well. But whenever you're doing that, you want to be able to compare, do some comparative market research, find out what kind of the going rate is, or at least the, you know, the ballpark average rate for the services that you offer is in your industry, I guess, or in your area. What am I trying to say? In your specialized target group, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So that's another thing you have to do for sure. And then the fourth thing is develop procedures. If you're really not sure whether you are charging the right amount of money for the things that you're doing, you need to start to develop procedures around them, because that helps you become more efficient at what you're doing. And instead of stumbling through something every time, and I did this, guys, so, you know, I totally understand what it's like. If, you know, I'd go in to do some audio recording or something like that for somebody, and I'm like, oh, how do I do this again? Oh, that's right, I have to click, I have to this, and so sometimes it would take me longer to do something if I hadn't done it for a while. So when you develop a procedure for something, you just pop your procedure document right in front of you, and you just say, right, I can click here, I do this, and then, you know, inevitably somebody shifts something around and they do an upgrade in the program and things change, so you can update your procedures. But by having procedures for the things that you do, it helps you become more efficient. It helps you to be able to cost your tasks and really know how much time it's taking you to do something, what the cost of that particular project is. And then if you bring in people to help you, either subcontractors or whatever, you have a really good idea of how long something should be taking to do. So procedures, I think, are very important, not just for your efficiency, but also because you can really understand then how much something is bringing you in for money, for one thing. So, you know, if you see that, and I always use newsletters as an example, because when I was doing a lot of VA work for coaching clients or for coaches, I would bill them about an hour of my time every time I did a newsletter for them. And there's a lot of stuff that went into that, stuff I didn't do, stuff that they had to, you know, they had to provide it for me and stuff, but it was essentially an hour every time. So if I knew that, it was easy for me to sell that as a service to people, first of all, because I knew that I could get, you know, for 4 newsletters a month, that was 4 hours of time, right? So if I had 10 clients, that's 40 hours. It can really add up, and you really understand what it is that you're doing and how you can make money at it. It was a repeatable task, and it was something that I actually was able to grow as a business, because then I started adding on other things that I knew that they could need. So when you start to really write things down, it helps you with your efficiency, it helps you to cost things, but it also helps you to see really valuable places where you can increase your value in terms of what you're doing for your client. So just a couple of extra little things for you today on setting your rates. I hope, yeah, list of procedures is vital for your memory, Sherry. Absolutely it is. I think that sometimes we fill our brains with so much stuff that, you know, we make it work too hard. And so if we make things simpler, you free up that brain space. You know, you have a checklist when you're going to do something. You know nothing's missed. You just have to check it off and say, yeah, I did that, I did that, I did that. And it's not because we aren't that smart, but it's because this is about productivity. It's the more work you do, the more you get paid, right? The more money you can make, the more clients you can add, the more valuable you become to your clients, and you can increase your billable rate as well. So getting all that stuff set up and really looking at it in terms of how it relates to your rates, I think is a really important thing to look at. So hopefully that was helpful for you today. Take care, and we'll see you next week.